Most Hollywood movies take a year to write. This one took 11 years. Superbad wasn't written by a room of 40-year-old executives trying to sound cool. It was written by two teenage boys. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg started the script in middle school. They spent the next decade perfecting every mistake, every awkward silence, and every illegal purchase. It wasn't just a movie. It is a documentary about the experience of high school and becoming an adult. Studios rejected it for 10 years. They said it was too gross, too weird, too real. They were wrong. Today, we are rewinding this raw and real coming-of-age masterpiece. Here are 25 weird things you never knew about Superbad, the craziest teen comedy ever made. Most teen movies are fiction. This one was a confession. Fact 1. The script started in 1996. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg were 13 years old. They were sitting in a room in Vancouver. They wanted to see a movie that looked like their actual lives, so they wrote one. Most of the dialogue in the film is just two 13-year-olds talking to each other. Fact 2. They named the characters Seth and Evan for a reason. It wasn't ego, it was a lack of faith. They honestly never thought the movie would get made. They figured nobody would ever see it, so why bother thinking up fake names? Fact 3. They wrote it out of spite. In the 90s, teen movies were polished. The actors were models. The problems were fake. Seth and Evan hated movies like American Pie. They wanted to show the truth. High school isn't about looking cool. It is about sitting in a basement and being confused. Fact 4. Hollywood rejected it for a decade. The script sat on a shelf for 10 years. Every studio passed. They said it was too gross. They said nobody would care about two guys who just want to buy beer. They wanted a prom scene. They wanted a makeover montage. The writers refused. Fact 5. Seth Rogen fired himself. For 10 years, the plan was simple. Seth Rogen would play Seth. But by the time the movie got the green light, Rogen was 24. He had a deep voice and a beard. He looked like an undercover cop. He realized he couldn't play a high schooler anymore, so he stepped aside and played Officer Michaels instead. Casting the leads was hard. Casting McLovin was impossible, until a random kid walked in off the street. Fact 6. Christopher Mintz-Plasse was not an actor. He had zero professional experience. He just heard about an open casting call. He walked in with a headshot taken on a cheap camera. He looked so much like a nerd that the producers thought it was a prank. Fact 7. Jonah Hill hated him. In the audition room, Mintz-Plasse didn't act scared of Jonah Hill. He attacked him. He improvised insults. He ruined Hill's rhythm. Jonah Hill was furious. He told the producers, "I don't want him doing it. He's really annoying." Fact 8. That annoyance got him the job. Producer Judd Apatow heard Jonah's complaint and laughed. He said, "That's exactly why we're hiring him." The fact that he genuinely annoyed Jonah Hill was the missing ingredient. The tension you see on screen is 100% real. Fact 9. Michael Cera's mom had to watch the sex scenes. The cast was young. Christopher Mintz-Plasse was only 17. Michael Cera was 19, but he looked 12. Due to strict labor laws regarding minors, Michael Cera's mother was required to be on set during the sex scenes involving Mintz-Plasse. It was the most awkward take-your-parent-to-work day in history. Fact 10. The fake ID story is true. The entire plot revolves around a terrible fake ID. That happened to Seth Rogen. In high school, he had a fake ID that looked nothing like him. Bouncers would laugh in his face. But the name McLovin? That was invented while the writers were eating lunch at a deli. It sounded dumb enough to work. The studios were right to be scared. The movie was filthy. Fact 11. The Motion Picture Association of America tried to kill it. The ratings board wanted to give the film an NC-17 rating. That is a death sentence for a comedy. They objected to the drawings. They objected to the fluids. The editors had to cut the film frame by frame to scrape by with an R rating. Fact 12. Sony banned PlayStation from the movie. In the script, Seth plays video games. The producers asked Sony for permission to use a PlayStation. Sony refused. They said the character of Seth was too vile. They didn't want their brand associated with him. Even the company that made Grand Theft Auto thought Seth was too much. Fact 13. The period blood scene was real. The dance scene where Seth gets blood on his leg? That wasn't a gross-out gag invented by writers. It actually happened to a friend of theirs in high school. They didn't find out until they were in the locker room later and saw the stain. Reality is grosser than fiction. Fact 14. The dick drawings were a family affair. Seth's obsession with drawing phallic shapes was based on real life, but the actors didn't draw them. The prop department needed hundreds of specific, distinct drawings, so they hired Evan Goldberg's brother. He spent weeks drawing different shapes for the movie. It remains the weirdest art portfolio in Hollywood history. Fact 15. They broke the cursing record. The movie uses the F word 186 times. That averages out to 1.6 times per minute. At the time, it was a record for a teen comedy. It sounds excessive, but if you have ever listened to two high school boys talk, it is historically accurate. This movie didn't just cast actors, it built a generation of comedy stars. Fact 16. We almost lost Michael Cera. Before Superbad, Michael Cera was done with acting. He had packed his bags. He was planning to move to New York to just live. He only stayed because he read the script. He realized he couldn't let anyone else play Evan. Fact 17. It was Emma Stone's film debut. Before this movie, Emma Stone wasn't a movie star. She was a contestant on a VH1 reality show, In Search of the Partridge Family. Superbad was her very first movie role. She knocked it out of the park, and she has been an A-list star ever since. Fact 18. Danny McBride is hiding in the background. Look closely at the first party scene. Sitting in the background is Danny McBride. He wasn't famous yet. He hadn't done Pineapple Express. He was just a guy on set, filling space. Fact 19. A young Dave Franco is in there too. The character Greg the soccer player, that is a tiny baby Dave Franco. He has one line.
That was like 8 years ago, asshole.
But it proves that every single person in this movie went on to be famous. Fact 20. Seth Rogen settled for the cop. Rogen wrote the lead role of Seth for himself, but when he realized he looked 30, he had to pivot. He took the role of Officer Michaels. It was a demotion, but it allowed him to pair up with Bill Hader, and together, they created the worst, most lovable police officers in cinema history. The movie was a hit, but it was also a cultural reset. Fact 21. Eminem is a super fan. Years after the release, Seth Rogen met Eminem in an event. He expected a quick hello. Instead, Eminem recited the entire first 10 minutes of the movie to him, line by line. One of the biggest selling artists in history is obsessed with Superbad. Fact 22. It killed the glossy teen movie. Before Superbad, teen movies looked like fashion commercials. After Superbad, they looked like real life. It ushered in a new era of awkward realism. It proved you didn't need models to sell tickets. You just needed jokes. Fact 23. It was designed to look like nowhere. The movie was filmed in Los Angeles, but the director worked hard to hide palm trees and landmarks. He wanted it to look like Anywhere, USA. He wanted every kid in the Midwest to feel like it was their town. He succeeded. Fact 24. McLovin was born at a deli. The name McLovin sounds ridiculous because it was invented over a lunch at Jerry's Deli. The writers were eating sandwiches and trying to think of the dumbest possible name for a fake ID. They didn't overthink it. They just picked the one that made them laugh the hardest. Fact 25. It's a story about becoming an adult. The movie isn't about boys getting girls. It's about two best friends facing the end of an era. It captures that specific terror of leaving your best friend to go to college. It's two friends seeing each other at the mall and realizing things have changed. It's heartbreaking, and it's perfect. So there you have it. A script written by two teenage boys over a decade. A movie rejected by Hollywood for being too gross. A cast of unknowns who became legends. Superbad proved that your awkward teenage years weren't a waste of time. They were just research. If you liked this video, please click that like and subscribe button and leave a comment. We would love to know if there is something you would like to see in the future.